Alice Cooper, from rock and roll rebel to devoted Christian. Early life and musical beginnings. Alice Cooper, born Vincent Damon Fania on February 4, 1948, in Detroit, Michigan, grew up in a Christian home. His father, Ether Maroney Fania, was a preacher in the Church of Jesus Christ, a denomination with roots in the holiness movement. His grandfather was also an evangelist, so Cooper was raised with strong Christian values. As a child, he attended church regularly, but as he grew older, he became fascinated by rock music. His family moved to Phoenix, Arizona, where he attended Cortez High School. It was there that he formed his first band, the Earwigs, which later became the Spiders and eventually Alice Cooper, the name that would define his entire career. Rise to fame and the shock rock persona. Alice Cooper and his band became famous in the late 1960s and early 1970s for their outrageous stage performances, which included guillotines, fake blood, electric chairs, and dark, horror-themed theatrics. Their music mixed hard rock with a theatrical style that both shocked and fascinated audiences. Songs like School's Out, No More Mr. Nice Guy, and Poison became massive hits. By the mid-1970s, Alice Cooper had become one of the biggest names in rock. However, with fame came a dangerous lifestyle, one filled with alcohol, drugs, and reckless behavior. He became known for his excessive drinking, and by the 1980s, his addiction had taken a severe toll on his health. A life spiraling out of control. Alice Cooper's addiction became so severe that he ended up in a hospital due to alcoholism. His wife, Cheryl Goddard, who had been with him since 1976, threatened to leave him if he didn't change. It was a wake-up call for him. Around this time, he began reflecting on his Christian upbringing. Alice credits God's intervention for saving him from a life of destruction. He recalls looking in the mirror one day and seeing Satan staring back at him, a moment that shook him to the core. It was then that he decided to fully surrender his life to Christ. Returning to his Christian faith, Alice Cooper describes his conversion as not just a realization, but a radical transformation. He quit drinking, got serious about his faith, and recommitted his life to Jesus. Unlike many rock stars who renounce their past when they become Christians, Alice did not quit music. Instead, he saw no contradiction between being a rock star and being a follower of Christ. He says, "Drinking was easy. Destroying myself was easy. Following Christ is the real rebellion." He also made it clear that he never worshipped Satan, despite the dark imagery in his stage performances. He simply viewed it as entertainment, much like how an actor plays a villain in a movie.
Now tell them who Jesus Christ is to you.
Well, I mean, it's everything. I mean, we're not here without him. Most people I know, young people, think Jesus Christ is a swear word.
Yeah.
Even at Solid Rock, where we have the teenagers down there,
Right.
They have no idea that who Jesus Christ is.
Yeah.
He's not preached enough.
Yeah.
Most written about character of all time.
Yes.
In history.
Right.
And yet people go out of their way to not believe in him.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because they don't want to give up their godship.
Yeah.
They want to be. I'm a good enough. They believe the Hollywood version of, I do more good than bad,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And I go, boy, is that
Right.
Satan's got you right where he wants you.
Yeah.
To believe that.
Yeah.
I said, because I am the way, the truth, and the life, and
That's
no one
right.
cometh to the Father but by me.
Right.
I said, those are the truest words ever spoken. And
Yeah.
how can you deny that?
Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, I mean, my life is based on that now.
Yeah.
It's not based on, I'm rock and roll. It allows me to be a rock and roller. But follow me.
Yeah.
So my lifestyle is, my wife and I both, it's our lifestyle, our kids, it's a Christian lifestyle.
Yeah.
But again, it's the old saying, why should the devil have all the good music?
Yeah.
There's a lot of Christian rockers out there.
Yeah, there are.
I just happen to be the most vocal one.
His family and their Christian values. Alice Cooper has been married to Cheryl Goddard since 1976, and their marriage has been strong despite the struggles they faced during his addiction. Cheryl is a devoted Christian and played a significant role in his return to faith. They have 3 children. 1. Calico Cooper, a performer and actress. 2. Dash Cooper, a musician and singer who leads the Christian rock band Co-op. 3. Sonora Cooper, lives a more private life. The Cooper family is deeply involved in their church and community. Alice regularly attends church and even teaches Bible studies. He and his wife are active in Christian ministries and support outreach programs, especially those helping troubled youth. Alice often speaks about how faith saved his marriage and his life. He believes that rock music can be used for good and doesn't see his performances as promoting evil. Instead, he views them as storytelling, showing the consequences of bad choices.
And I knew, in other words, I knew who Christ was, Jesus Christ was. And I was denying him.
Yeah.
Remember, I grew up in the church. My dad was a pastor. My granddad was an evangelist. And when the band happened, it took me as far away as you could possibly. I was the poster boy for everything wrong.
Yeah.
And then when I got sober and everything, came back to the church, realizing that's where I belonged, there. So we started going to, and a lot of people say, I came to Christ because my love of Jesus. I came to Christ because of my fear of God.
Wow.
I totally understood that hell was not getting high with Jim Morrison. Yeah. Hell was going to be the worst place ever. In fear, I came back to the Lord. But I went to another church, and that pastor preached the love of Christ, which now you put the two together, and it was exactly right. I was baptized, and I went to my pastor, and I said, I think I got to quit being Alice Cooper now. Mm-hmm. And he goes, really? He says, do you think God makes mistakes? And I went, no. He says, look where he put you. He put you in, he said, he put you in the exact camp of the Philistines, and you were basically the leader.
Yeah, that's true.
So now, what if you're Alice Cooper, but what if you're now following Christ? And you're a rock star, but you don't live the rock star life.
Yeah.
Your lifestyle is now your testimony.
Wow.
And that made total sense to me.
Philanthropy and outreach work. In addition to his music career, Alice Cooper has dedicated much of his time to charity work. He runs a Christian-based nonprofit organization called Solid Rock Foundation, which provides a safe space for at-risk youth in Phoenix. The foundation offers free music, dance, art, and vocational training to help young people develop their talents and avoid destructive paths. He has stated, "It's easy to get kids into drugs and gangs. We want to show them that they can be cool and still follow Christ." Still rocking for Jesus. Despite being in his 70s, Alice Cooper continues to perform and tour. However, he is very open about his Christian faith and does not shy away from sharing his testimony. He believes that being a Christian does not mean one has to abandon their passion or career. Instead, it means using it for the glory of God. One of his most famous quotes about his faith is, "There's nothing in Christianity that says I can't be a rock star. People have a misconception that you must give up everything fun. But my life is more exciting now than ever." He also talks about how the real rebellion in today's culture is to follow Christ, rather than conforming to the destructive lifestyles that many rock musicians have fallen into. Legacy, rock and faith combined. Alice Cooper's story is one of redemption, transformation, and purpose. He went from being a hard-living rock star on the brink of death to a man who passionately follows Christ and helps others find their way. His legacy is unique. Not only did he revolutionize rock music, but he also showed the world that faith and music can coexist. Today, he continues to inspire both musicians and Christians, proving that God can work through anyone, even in the most unexpected places, like the world of shock rock. His testimony is a reminder that God's grace is for everyone, no matter their past.